Check, 1, 2.
Yeah, we could. I could throw up. Yeah. Okay, so where do I go on this one? We'll just, and then as soon as you're done, you can just go sit with them. Or, yeah, because then, I gotta go.
If you are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Good afternoon, and thank you to Mrs. Kehoe's class for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. On this special day, on behalf of the Morse Area Schools Student Council and the University of Minnesota Morse, we extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you as we gather for our Veterans Day program. Today, under the inspiring theme of United We Stand, we come together to honor the remarkable legacy of our veterans. Francis Scott Key, almost 2 centuries ago, beautifully described America as the land of the free and the home of the brave. Those words ring as true now as they did then. Throughout our nation's storied history, the brave men and women of our armed forces, soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen, have valiantly answered the call to defend our freedom, support our friends and allies, and repel aggressors. We can never fully repay the immense debt of gratitude owed to the more than 650,000 American service members who made the ultimate sacrifice on the battlefield, or the 1.4 million who bore the wounds of their service. However, we can, and we must, recognize and express our profound gratitude to the 25 million living veterans among us.
The words etched into the Korean War Memorial in the heart of our nation's capital resonate deeply. Our nation honors her sons and daughters who answered the call to defend a country they never knew and a people they never knew. These words equally apply to the heroes of World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, and Gulf War. They also encompass the present-day active duty service members, the veterans of tomorrow who are actively working to uphold peace across the globe. Today is our distinct privilege to say thank you to all of America's veterans, to let them know that we appreciate their unwavering service and honor them for their dedication to persevering the liberties we hold dear. The price of freedom is immeasurable, and we must never forget the sacrifices of those willing to pay it. Today, we gather to celebrate America's veterans for their pivotal role in ensuring our nation remains the land of the free and the home of the brave. Now welcome the Monoman Singers with the welcome song.
Please welcome the concert and a cappella choirs under the direction of Mr. John Kleinwalterink. Thank you for that wonderful performance and for sharing your talents with us today. Next, we would like to introduce to you Janet Trunk Erickson, Chancellor, University of Minnesota.
Thank you. I bring my welcome from the University of Minnesota Morris, as well as my own, to all of our veterans and all who are here today to honor our veterans, past and present. I know that both my father, a veteran of the Korean War, and one grandfather, a veteran of World War I, would be honored to be part of a ceremony like this. My sincere thanks to those who planned this annual important opportunity to reflect with pride and gratitude on those who have served and are serving in our military. We can learn so much from their stories when those who have them are willing to share, and I recognize some of those stories remain too painful to share. But the stories are important to learn from, to hear, and to think about for the future. The service of our veterans and their sacrifices for the greater good are both humbling and core to our democracy. On behalf of the students, staff, and faculty at the University of Minnesota Morris, thank you.
Thank you. We are fortunate that the University of Minnesota and the Morris School District can work together to support our veterans. Please welcome the Mayor of Morris, Kevin Wohlers.
Good afternoon once again, and welcome again to this Veterans Day celebration. For those of you who don't know me, I am Mayor Kevin Wohlers. I want to thank Joe Ferraro for giving me the opportunity to speak on this special holiday where we honor military veterans across the United States. I just want to begin for a few minutes talking about this flag. I was given this flag back in 1993 by our Brigadier Commander, Sergeant Major Kerr. I remember that day like it was yesterday. He spoke that day to us about many things. One thing he talked about was tradition. Sergeant Major Kerr was a Marine. His dad was a Marine, and his grandfather was also a Marine. So he spoke a lot about tradition, duty and honor and commitment. But he also spoke that day to us about the role of the Minnesota Army National Guard and how it was going to change. As guardsmen, most of you sitting in there all served in the National Guard, no one understand that we had a state mission. But the military, our role as guardsmen was going to change, and we were going to be an integral part of our national defense. They were rolling out what they called the total force doctrine. So Guard members, he told us to be prepared, for your day is coming. But this day, again, I just want to go on. It's not about me and my accomplishments, so I want to get right to the heart of my message. This day is about the brave men and women who have answered the call to serve our country. And I guess I'm surrounded by a room full of students, so I'm going to throw out some questions here. Did you know that only about 2 to 3% of our entire population of the United States serve in our armed forces? Let's think about that for just a minute. So few have given us so much. My message to members of this crowd today is one of answering the call to service. My dad, myself, and my 2 brothers all served in the Minnesota Army National Guard. All 4 of us at one point served together. Those were fond memories. So today I ask you to consider serving our country. The military taught me a lot about leadership and teamwork. Many of these principles guide me in my current role as your mayor today. There are many ways for us to show respect to those who have served in the military. We stand and honor America by singing the national anthem at ceremonies and sporting events. It is a standard protocol for us at city government to begin each meeting by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. It is a patriotic verse that promises allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the first version of which was written in 1885 by Captain George Thatcher Balch. He was a Union Army officer in the Civil War. The American flag has stood as a symbol of liberty, freedom, and justice for over 225 years, through wars and in times of peace. It is a sign for each of us that democracy is alive and well. Surely, each one of us can find something significant to reflect on as we look upon our flag. Here are some things to consider while gazing at Old Glory. The stripes represent the original 13 colonies, and the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor, white symbolizes purity and innocence, and blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Now, once again, I appeal to the students in the audience. What is the most important color of the flag? Red. The red in the American flag symbolizes courage and bravery and was the color of America's first flag, the Grand Union. Red is also the color of blood, which was spilled daily by those fighting for our nation's existence during the Revolutionary War. So today, let us all remember the many members of our armed forces who sacrificed so much in the name of freedom. My hope for each of us here today is to look for the good in our country. And I think it's worth asking, how will we answer when called? Will we even recognize what form that calling comes? Will it be from a relative, a close friend, teacher, or coach? We all know influential people in our lives. For me, it was my father, Mel Wallers. He instilled in us the qualities of discipline, respect for authority, and most importantly, patriotism. It wasn't until I enlisted in the Minnesota Army National Guard that I really understood that many of the actions my father took in raising us came from the military. I'm thankful for the guidance he gave us along the way. Let us take heart, listen to your parents, teachers, and coaches. The calling may be subtle. Will we hear or answer the call to serve and protect? I would like to close with this. With all the division in our country today, I am thankful we came here this day united in this celebration of our veterans. We don't have to look very far to see examples of fallen heroes. Staff Sergeant David Day, Sergeant Jesse Latka, and First Lieutenant Jason Timmerman, all members of our local unit who died February 21st, 2005 in Basra, Iraq, while assisting a fellow soldier. They were members of Company C, my old unit, 1st Battalion, 151st Field Artillery, 34th Infantry Division. At this time, I would ask all of the veterans sitting here, please stand to be recognized. Would you guys want to just stand for a minute, please? Let's give these guys a round of applause. Any spouses of any of these individuals here, spouses, certainly stand up because you're a big part of this as well. That's really all I had. Thank you again.
We are excited to present our Veterans Day essay winners from 6th and 9th grade. Each student will be reading their winning piece. Please welcome 6th grader Samuel Thomas Enberg and 9th grader Kendall Fisher.
Do you ever think about what veterans sacrificed to protect our country? During World War II, almost all the men were recruited to the armed forces to fight, and all the women and children were left behind. Back then, almost all the jobs were done by men, and when they left, they had to leave their jobs. So the women stepped up and filled those job openings. Anyway, the point is that veterans had to leave behind everything they loved to keep our democracy alive. They ran into the battlefield and put their lives on the line to keep us safe. Some of them sacrificed their lives to that cause. On Veterans Day, we honor them and give thanks to all of their sacrifices, big or small. Today, warfare is even more dangerous. There are more terrorist organizations, more conflict between countries, and even more of a need for brave souls to protect our country. You have probably heard about the wars in other countries, like the war in Ukraine or the conflict in Gaza. These are things that we see on the news, things we never actually experience. We civilians never really understand what it's like to have our homes blown up or our cities destroyed, to be fighting for our lives. We would never know that until war comes to us. It always will, no matter what. To me, united we stand means three separate things things that we all understand. First, united. I think that everyone has at least a vague idea of what unity is. Unity is us, all of us, no matter our ethnicity, religion, or what language we speak. As Martin Luther King said, one day, right there in Alabama, little black boys and little black girls can join hands with little white boys and little white girls as sisters and brothers. That's what we should do, just be kind. Next is we. We is one of those words that encompasses all people, no matter who they are, not just you, not just me, but all the children of man. And last but not least, stand. If we don't stand up to the violence, the injustice, the fear, the hatred, it will rule over us and trap us under its claws. We cannot let that evil win. We have to push it out and discover compassion for all, not just to be kind, but to be kind to all kinds. Most of the time, war is not the answer. On Christmas Eve in 1914, the British Expeditionary Force were battling the German army. They heard the Germans singing Christmas carols and saw them putting small fir trees and lanterns along their trenches. Soon after, the British started doing the same thing, and before long, the unofficial Christmas armistice started. Sometimes fighting isn't the only way to deal with things. Sometimes you need to make peace. No matter how much you hate them, you should always try peace. You should always try to save those that are innocent, those that might die. Always value the weak the same as the strong, the poor the same as the rich. And don't call the other army the enemy. Don't just look at them as the bad guys. They have a family too. They have lives. And I think we should value them as much as any veteran. Veterans, thank you for serving our country. You put our lives before your own. You bravely ran into battle to protect our nation and our way of life. Thank you for protecting and maintaining our beautiful country, for sacrificing your lives here at home to protect our freedom. Thank you for being the heroes, the people who were brave enough to run into the unknown, the people who gave all they had to protect our country. Thank you.
Veterans Day is a day to celebrate our veterans and what they do for our country. Veterans are the reason for our unity within our society. The societal unity that we all have is so important for the well-being of all citizens, and we thank our veterans for securing that for us. Veterans sacrifice every day to protect our country and help strengthen our nation. Our country has stayed strong because of the dedicated veterans supporting it, and we really need to appreciate and respect those who have served. Veterans keep our country unified because they teach us about true service and sacrifice. Have you ever stopped to think about how veterans put their lives on hold and leave their family and loved ones to willingly enter into some of the most dangerous situations anyone could imagine? Doing this shows that they use the saying, "United we stand," to keep them going. Knowing and fully understanding the motto United We Stand helps not only veterans, but everyone, because we know that we have this saying associated with our country for a reason. We need to honor this motto because as soon as we aren't united, we can't say United We Stand, and division takes over. Veterans use this saying because they know that there is something very special about being a part of the United States of America, and they are always trying to get our country to become more united and strong. Want to know what being united means? Ask a veteran. My grandpa served in the Vietnam War, and he believes that the saying United We Stand helps our country stay united and strong, but also makes us stronger every day. He believes that if we had nobody protecting and serving our country, then we wouldn't be united. Veterans serve and put their lives in the line, and many people don't know what that feels like. So we as citizens need to respect them and try to understand their point of view as best as we can. He also said that if you ever see a veteran, just simply thank them because it's very appreciated, and they deserve our thanks more than any words can say. Many veterans will tell you that understanding the main goal and following orders is necessary to finish the task at hand. If a soldier falls out of line, decides they have a better idea, or just decides to depart from the mission, they put their whole team at stake. Teamwork is mandatory for a successful mission. All people in a team have to understand each other's views and work with each other to find the best solution. Many people will not want to admit their wrongs, which is necessary for teamwork. Sometimes you have to be empathetic of others and try to put yourself in their shoes because one fist is stronger than 5 individual fingers. Unity is a common goal, but there is truly no one better to understand what unity means than an American soldier. Veterans are a vital part of our country because they understand the mission to work as a team and end up united. They recognize that there is no way to accomplish anything divided. We must be united to get the job done. Together we can fight for what is right. Together we can accomplish great things, and together we can change the world and create a brighter future for the generations to come. All veterans deserve a big thanks. They truly are the pinnacle of our nation, and though we don't understand all the experiences they have been through, we can try to understand why they do it. They sacrifice so much and fight to keep our nation strong and united. They put their lives on the line and leave their families. And they do it for many people who they do not know. Only about 3% of Americans are veterans, because not many people are brave enough or strong enough to have this tremendous amount of weight on their shoulders. So to all the veterans, thank you.
Thank you for sharing your amazing essays and your appreciation to our veterans. The Morse Area Student Council will now like to present a special token to the brave veterans here today. Veterans, when your military branch is called, please stand. Also welcome Wanda Dagan and the Morse Area Wind Ensemble with the Armed Forces Salute. Army, please rise. Coast Guard, please rise. Marines, please rise. Air Force, please rise. Navy, please rise. Welcome back, the Monoman Singers with the Veterans Honor Song. Please give a warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Sergeant First Class Don Brewster, this afternoon.
Thank you. I want to say as a veteran, thank you for the other vets for being here, but also thank you to my family for being here, Thomas and Lucas. I'm Sergeant First Class Don Brewster, and I want to welcome you to today's Veterans Day celebration. It is a privilege to be with you to pay tribute to our nation's veterans. Veterans Day, originally known as Armistice Day, commemorates the ceasefire of November 11, 1918, which marked the end of World War I. Since then, this day has evolved to recognize and honor all veterans from every generation who have served in the armed forces from the greatest nation on earth. Veterans Day is not just another day on the calendar, it's a powerful reminder of the sacrifices made by those who have served our country. It is a day to pause, remember, and honor our veterans' unwavering dedication and courage. Most Americans profess to truly love veterans, especially at gatherings like this on Veterans Day. And while their feelings are sincere, it is important to remember that veterans are defending us 365 days a year. The heroism that has been demonstrated time and time again is sometimes unnoticed by many who enjoy the security that their sacrifice has provided. Not all veterans have seen combat, but all at one time made the solemn promise to sacrifice their lives to this country if called upon. Without the formidable strength that veterans have demonstrated in war, Americans would never enjoy their daily freedoms. For many veterans, our nation was important enough to endure long separations from family, missing birth of children, freezing in sub-zero temperatures, and roasting away in faraway deserts, losing limbs, and far too often, losing their lives. In this era of uncertainty and division, our veterans who serve as a unifying force, they come from all walks of life, representing the rich tapestry of our nation. Yet, when they put on the uniform, they become an even greater power, the embodiment of the American spirit. We will never know when our nation may be called upon to handle the next conflict or emergency, but some things will never change. One, our military service members will always be ready to answer the call. Two, as Americans, we will always have men and women willing to serve our country. And three, we will always be grateful and remember those who have served before us. President Reagan once stated, "Freedom is never more than a generation away from extinction." We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on to them to do the same. So on this Veterans Day, let us remember the sacrifices, courage, and dedication of all the veterans. Thank you, not just on this day, but every day, for your sacrifice, your courage, and your unwavering dedication to our country. May we never forget the debt of gratitude we owe to you and all who have served. Thank you.
Your words have provided encouragement and pride in our country. Thank you for your service. It has been an honor to MC this Veterans Day program. Thank you all for attending. A special thanks to the veterans that have served and are continuing to serve our country. Once again, here's the Monoman Singers with the travel song. Please rise and remain standing until the recessional of the veterans is completed. Thank you, enjoy your day, your freedoms, and God bless America.